fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Sevens Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusack Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams will make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay Murtagh Precast.
For this is Shay Murtagh Intermediate Football Championship semi-final between Garrycastle and Multyfarnham. It's Paul Doonan and commentary here, and I'm joined on co-coms by Tom Brown. And Tom, if we had a good day yesterday, we don't have it today, unfortunately. It's windy, it's wet, it's all the conditions that lads don't want to play football in as well.
Yeah, the weather is quite turned today now. It's kind of back to our county final weather is in wind and wet, and it's a change from the summer weather that we've been lucky to get in the last couple of games. Very excited for this game, Garrycastle versus Multyfarnham. I don't know if that matchup has ever been held in the
not in my lifetime.
No, not in the championship. So, obviously Garrycastle coming in as very heavy favourites for this, heavy favourites for the intermediate title.
Breaking in them teeth for a new horse down the road, are you?
Coming in Multyfarnham off the back of that epic quarter-final penalty shootout win versus Clare. It's hard to know how this is going to go, but I do feel there is going to be plenty of goals in this game. Just with the two teams, the way they set up and the speed within the half-forward line for both sides. It's going to be a very entertaining game.
Yeah, and I suppose, Tom, no more than myself, at the start of the year, would we have given Multy a chance to be in a playoff, never mind in a semi-final here today? I'm going to be honest and say no, they weren't on my radar at that one, but they proved us all wrong, and they proved us wrong all year, and against Clare here the last day, they were absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, and to be fair, at the start of the year we were probably questioning Multyfarnham's goalies as it regards have they got it to be able to step up and make a mark in the intermediate, or they're going to be wavering between intermediate and junior for the next couple of years. But they got a good man in Grape Cork and good management set up, and he's got a tune out of them. They're top of the table in Section B. Nobody probably gave them any sort of a hope against Clare, but we've found out as we've seen them on air, and everybody at home has seen them on air, that they have some fantastic footballers. Leaving out Ron Walsh for a second. Mark Reynolds actually starts today.
Yeah, made a huge difference here the last day.
He was brilliant when he came on the last day, and you have Fagan Brennan, you have one change which you'll probably go through in a minute is Jude Owl is in corner forward position. But I was really impressed with Keane Lee and James Green the last day. I thought they were excellent.
I agree with you, yeah.
Adam Bate, obviously, with tuning in with 1-2 the last day, he was excellent from wing back. They're a good side, and it's great that they're getting this exposure on the ERV TV. The people they're not just seeing Multyfarnham as a junior team anymore. Yeah. These have a chance. They're one win away from getting to an intermediate final, and it's quite possible.
Yeah, and look, this is not today or yesterday. This is starting from Multy, of course, junior football All-Ireland finalists a couple of years ago. So they're building for quite a while. A lot of change of personnel in that one, but I do agree with you. Reynolds was a huge addition when he came on the last day. But if I was to pick a player to match from the last day, it would have been James Green. You've mentioned him already. Another player I thought had a super game. He kind of played a libero role, I suppose, is what you said. Is Stephen Sweeney. He played number 12 today. He was actually number 22, I think, the last time.
Yeah, and a couple of penalties, lovely in open play and then in the penalty shootout. Like, there's talent in the Multyfarnham team all over. They have a good structure. They're beating a nice little drum this year, but they're coming up again probably one of the most successful teams in Westmeath football over the last 15 years in Garrycastle, who've been used to these types of days at senior level.
It always strikes me as the famous saying in the Premiership was too good to go down, or Garrycastle too good to go down, but the proof is in the pudding. You don't win your games, you go down, but they have regrouped, they have set their stall out again, and they're back here in a semi-final in the very first year at intermediate level. And look, you go down through the spine of their team, it's just a who's who of Westmeath senior football over the last number of years. The likes of Jimmy Dolan, Mark McCallan, Jack Donoghue even for the last while, the Monaghan brothers. Jason Nugent, I think, is a really, really decent player. They've lost a few, but at the same time, down the spine of their team, Tom, they're just still so strong. So, you know, even at senior level, they would probably give most senior teams a really good game.
Oh, absolutely. They're only in the senior final a couple of years ago. But one thing about Garrycastle is they have been a kind of flagship for the kind of South West Meath clubs. They got their couple of championships, but they were very, very good winners when they weren't boastful. They were just good winners. They got on with it, and they were kind of
and Leinster champions.
They were Leinster champions, but they were a team that everybody looked up to, that they wanted to be the next Garrycastle.
Yeah.
Now, they took a bit of a hit last year coming back down to intermediate, but they have regrouped. They've got their management team brilliantly set up, I think, this year, and they're going to bring that little bit of steel, as I was saying the last day, into Garrycastle, and they will not fear Multyfarnham at all. They'll be just going through their processes now in the warm-up, but they'll know after being beaten by Clare that there is a couple of chinks in their armour, and they're going to try to put them right today to get them to intermediate final.
Yeah, and I suppose they probably would have learned more from that last game against Clare, I suppose, you know, in defeat than they would have if they'd have won it, and won it very, very comfortably. But, you know, they're coming into this on the back of a defeat. Multy are coming in on the back of an epic, shall we say, an epic win here the last time. But we'll give you the teams anyway as their lines out. We'll give you Garrycastle first. In goals is Sean Brennan, Jack Mulvihill at 2, Jack Donoghue at 3, and Gary McCallan at 4. James Dolan at 5, Mark McCallan at 6, and Matty Gaheen wears 7. Centre of the field is Owen Mulvihill at 8 and Conor McKiernan at 9. Half forward line number 10 is Mickey Monaghan, 11 is Andrew Monaghan, and 12 is Jason Nugent. Number 13 Cathal Mannion, number 14 James Sheardon, or number 15 Ben Donegan. Neither start. They're replaced by number 21 Owen Monaghan and number 29 Conor Cosgrove. So in that regard, Tom, there's no change to the pattern of play that Garrycastle play with that starting 15.
No
or
change.
With those changes.
No change. There's some excellent footballers up front there. You know, and I know how exciting the likes of Jason Nugent are, and Cotton Mannion. But a guy I see back on the panel and back on the substitute, got a bad injury at the start of the year, John Gaffey, in a number 20. Is he going to play a role today? If he's fit enough, he definitely. I see him out warming up. He looks okay. He was one hell of a footballer for Garrycastle and Westmeath over the next couple of years. I'm just wondering, will they need to use him today in the likes of Ronan Wallace? I don't know. But as regards Garrycastle, they're just stacked with a super lineup, a lot of experience, and looking forward, Paul, to an absolutely another epic game.
Multi-line out as follows. In goals is Craig Sweetie. Full back line is 2 Ronan Green, 3 is Fahim Brennan, and 4 is Aaron Whelan. Niall McDermott wears 5, Ronan Wallace at 6, and Adam Bate at 7. Cian Lee at the centre of the field alongside James Green, that's 8 and 9. Garrett Milanoff is at 10, Anthony McGivney at 11, and Stephen Sweeney at 12. Jamie Coffey does not start. He's replaced by number 17, Jude Ould. Full forward is Louis Green at 14, and Mark Reynolds starts at number 15. I expect to be quite a number of positional changes, Tom, in that Multyfarnham lineup. I don't think they'll line up as per programme or where they're supposed to be situated, to be quite honest with you. I don't see Reynolds playing in the corner. I think he's more of a get on the ball job. I think Jude Owl will probably play the same. I do see Stephen Sweeney coming around that middle of the field, so that middle of the field is probably going to be very congested today.
Yeah, it's going to be congested today, but the good link play that they had the last day was Mark Reynolds when he came on, but before that Anthony McGivney and Ronan Wallace were linking up lovely. That was kind of their platformers where they were getting their most success. So like today, they have their own problems in trying to deal with Garrycastle. But the big question for me with Garrycastle, who are they going to put on Ronan Wallace? Like, who are they going to sacrifice to go on Ronan Wallace to kind of curtail? Like, they've a number of highly experienced players in there in the back line. Jimmy Dolan is good, but you also have Gary McCallan and have Mark McCallan there to easily pick him up as well.
Who are known as man markers, I suppose, over the years.
Very good man markers. Very good man markers. So there's going to be a lot of positional changes at the very start of the game. The first 15 minutes will be very cagey, but I do expect in the first 15 minutes of this game to it being lively, with mistakes, just with the weather and the pace that both teams have in their attack. Yeah, well,
anyone that was with us yesterday on Airview TV will know that the first half of the game between Milltown and Rosemount Chester was littered with errors from both sides. I suppose getting to a semi-final, it's a different step up. It's do or die from there on in. So lads will make mistakes, maybe that they probably wouldn't make normally, And I do agree with you. I think the same will be today. Plus conditions, it's wet, it's windy, it's actually the rain has kind of stopped now. We have a referee out there in the centre of the field, Barry Nee, an experienced referee here for this game, and the Kelly I see is on one sideline for him, and I think it's Paul McCaughey on the other. So we've all ready here, Tom, for a really decent game. I hope it's a decent game. They both have going to have it hard in the final, because we watched Milltown yesterday. Milltown were extremely impressive here at times in the game yesterday when they got going with a very, very structured pattern to their game, a very strong forward line, and big men all around the field, and defended extremely well against a Rosemount team who probably were a little bit more fancy to do a job at Milltown yesterday. But Milltown showed them a clean pair of heels, Tom.
Yeah, I big respect for Milltown before it said the championship, that they could go deep in it, but just the form that Rosemount was showing, they were just playing good football. So that was maybe the reason why a lot of people were kind of tipping Rosemount. But you have to hand it to Milltown. You know Milltown as much as I have. We played them actually the league with St. Malachy's, and they just steamrolled us. They have some excellent footballers out there, and whoever meets Milltown,
and Shawnee Loughlin as coach out there, he's doing a massive job. We have to give great credit to Sean.
Absolutely,
for that.
absolutely.
And one thing that struck me yesterday was their discipline. They have been, in my opinion, the discipline has been the major bugbear over the last number of years. But yesterday there was no rushing into tackles. There was no needless fouls. There was no, it was all measured. It was all controlled, and in their forward line they had lads there that just did the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, well, like they had the layoff, and Rosemount came in absolutely steamrolled St. Mary's. So they had form, Rosemount coming in. So Milltown were going to have to be that, as you say, up and ready for the game, and they put in a super performance. Now they can sit back, have a look at this game today. But as I was saying earlier, whoever wins this game is going to have to win the intermediate championship, because Milltown are in a final now. They'll bring the whole village with them to the final. The girls have been doing absolutely excellent over the last couple of years. Now it's the boys' time to shine. The girls, I think, got to the final again today, playing St. Ulman's in the final. So there's going to be a lot of hype and buzz around the Milltown area over the next couple of weeks. But back to this game.
Again, Tom, the likes of these teams, it shows you if you put the work in at underage. Multi are a perfect example of it. Milltown, another example of it. They're in a combination with Milmore-Gales, which is a combination that has been working really well at underage, and it's bringing those players on, play probably at a higher level maybe than they were heretofore.
Yeah, and people have to understand it takes time for these teams to develop.
Absolutely,
you can be a great underage player, but you have to develop through your college years and then come out the end of the college and go into a working environment and still maintain your form. That takes a little bit of time for some lads. Okay, not everyone can do it, especially in the country areas. But Milltown have built, and they've secured themselves as a very, very competitive intermediate team over the last couple of years, but now they're going to be looking up. We want to go one more and go see.
And they, of course, will be playing the winners of this game here between Garrycastle and Multyfarnham. Both teams getting ready to line out there. Noticeable that Ronan Wallace has gone straight to the centre field with Jimmy Green. I don't think that's going to remain the way. I think Wallace will probably play a kind of freer role maybe. I do expect the middle of the field. Barry Nee is ready to throw up the ball here. Garrycastle, of course, in their usual green and red the South Westmeath team, and Multy, of course, in the same colours as our county, in the maroon and white with the blue shorts. So for those of our viewers that maybe are not off air with them, we're almost ready to throw in here for what I hope is going to be an exciting and entertaining game of football here, Tom and Brown.
Yeah, really looking forward to this game. Just about to get going. Best of luck to both teams.
Barry Nee with the ball in hand, and the ball is in, the game is on. A huge roar from a bumper crowd here in TEG Cusack Park on what is an absolutely miserable day. First free of the game goes to Multyfarnham, and it's on Ronan Wallace. It's going to be interesting to see who's picking him up. At the moment, it's Mickey Monaghan. I think it's Owen Monaghan actually is picking him up as a who would come in as one of the sub. But Multy are controlling the ball at the moment. Out will come Jimmy Green now. Jimmy turns around and sees there's a man coming off his shoulder. That's his midfield partner, Keane Lee. But Keane gives him around a wayward pass, goes into Jason Nugent. Nugent gets it into the centre like McKiernan. Again, Garrycastle just playing around the back, and eventually it's brought forward. Mark McCallan. McCallan kicks it over to the far side to Nugent. Nugent, this man has pace. This man has pace to burn. Really good player. Ball into the forward line. It's Conor Costello. Another player that has played in the heyday, the halcyon days of Garrycastle. Conor winning intermediate, where they were winning senior football championships and indeed winning Leinster football championships. And here comes Cathal Mannion now. Mannion, it's a measured build-up from Garrycastle here at the start. Multyfarnham gone in, they're playing with the double sweeper at the moment. There's only one man in the forward line, that man is actually Ronan Wallace, probably one of the best defenders in the county, Tom, and he's the only man inside the Garrycastle half of the field. Good work by McCallan there. Still retains possession. He gets it out eventually. But it comes to Andrew Monaghan. Andrew looks up and sees that Mulvihill is across the zone in the centre of the field. Mulvihill has Mannion coming off the shoulder. Mannion with the first shot of the game, but Cathal Mannion has pulled that one greatly, and it's gone to the right and wide of the post as we look out there. But Garrycastle measured in their build-up that time.
Yeah, good play.
Probably a rushed finish. Maybe.
Yeah, rushed finish, and probably looks like a bad finish, but funny enough, all the other games we've been commenting on, the wind has been going into the apartment end, but it's actually going into the Dunstores end, so he's kicking the ball again the breeze.
Super catch by Jimmy Green again. What a player he has been for Multy this year. Wallace takes it on, he uses his pace. He's got a man on the far side, if he sees him he does. That's Mark Reynolds. Mark Reynolds coming through. Mark Reynolds slots over the first score of the game. We did say to keep an eye out for Mark Reynolds. He's a super finisher, Paul, and that all came from a great catch by Jimmy Green. Pass on to Ronan Wallace. 3 passes, the ball is over the bar.
Yeah, no sign of nerves. Early doors from Multyfarnham there. That was a great score. And our guy, Mark Reynolds, tapped it over the bar. Could have went for a goal, but sensibly got his team on the board early. And now we're waiting on Garrycastle to respond.
Jack Donoghue now into the centre. Into Andrew Monaghan. Monaghan looks up and sees a man free over on the far side. It's Jack Mulvihill. It's actually Gary McCallan. McCallan coming through. McCallan actually didn't play the last day. He was injured, as far as I can remember. Cathal Mannion now with the ball. Mannion sells a dummy. Gives it back on. Comes back into Owen Mulvihill now. Mulvihill. Name synonymous with the Garrycastle Cup. Gives it into Andrew Monaghan. Monaghan has a chance there off the left one. It's short and it's dropped right into the hands. Craig Sweeney there. Out it comes to Jude All. Jude All is fouled here by the looks of things. Referee said, no, I'm not giving you that one. He said, but it's still cleared and done. Good work that time, but Cathal Mannion has done very, very well to dispossess Fahey Brennan that time, and Cathal Mannion goes down. He doesn't get a free either. Jimmy Dolan sees Mulvihill on the far side. Andy Monaghan. That's a ball over the top. Is he going to make it? McCallan doesn't make it. He's gone to ground. He's surrounded by Multyfarnham players. No freeze from the referee, and eventually given as a free out. And Barry Nee has kind of set a stall out already, Tom. Unless it's an absolute guaranteed free, you're not going to get. No point laying on the ground here. You have to get up and get on with it.
Yeah, good referee letting the game go.
Sweeney now, we're in 12, but he's playing as that libero, as we did mention almost. So we say that the Ronan O'Toole plays for St. Lomans is kind of that free role. Good work by McGivney, lovely little sidestep. Lucky to get it back, but he does get it back out to Keane Lee. Keane is out to let it overrun him. It comes to Jason Nugent. Nugent tries to pick it up off the ground. McGivney comes in with the shoulder, but that wasn't shoulder to shoulder. And Barry Nee is absolutely spot on there. It wasn't shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, Jason was lucky there because he should have went down on the ball. He would try to chip it up to himself, but caused the foul, and Garrycastle on the attack again. But lively game so far, even though we're in the early minutes.
Yeah, it looks like Garrycastle, whatever bit of wind is in it, Tom, it looks like Garrycastle are playing into that wind in the first half. I'm just looking over at the flags there. They seem to be blowing down towards the Dunstores end of TEG Cusack Park, but I don't know, is it significant wind, Tom? Would that be fair to say?
That is, it looks strong from the sideline flags there, and the first couple of shots there that Garrycastle had kind of dropped short.
Over on the far side of the field, on the terrace side here of TEG Cusack Park. Monaghan looking for an offload. And again, he just drifts through. Multyfarnham formed their ranks in the forward line. It goes in. Connor Cosgrove was a little bit liberal with the steps there, but Jimmy Green has fouled Owen Monaghan this time. One of three Monaghan starting on the Garrycastle.
Yeah, and we'll get a good indication of the wind now. Shawnee Brennan coming up to take this, I think.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who has a good kick at the ball, it's Shawnee Brennan, because we've seen him on numerous occasions kick over ones from this distance and even further up, but instead of that it's taken short, and when Monaghan takes it, it's drifting, but I'm afraid that's a waste of one, and Sean Brennan has to change back to goal. I don't think he's too happy about it either, Tom.
Yeah, I think that might have been a training ground move where he kind of was sauntering up the field, and then it was a quick take there from Conor Cosgrove. It didn't work out, but it is a big breeze that they're playing into, and Garrycastle just need to contain themselves for a couple of minutes, because they want to be going in at half time, playing against in the second half with not too much of a deficit.
Reynolds is fouled, just held on to the arm there, did well to retain the ball. Owen Monaghan, that's a little bit silly, and they're always going to get pulled for that, Tom, and just silliness on the part of Owen Monaghan that time. Oh, it's going to be a throw-up ball, because Anthony McGivney decided he wanted to take an edge to kick that ball, and all of a sudden it's in for a throw ball. Silly on Multy's part that time, but Tom, I thought they'd move it a little bit quicker than that.
Yeah.
Because when they do move it quicker, they look to be exposing that Garrycastle defence.
Yeah, Barry's been consistent with his refereeing so far. He's not taken anything, and he was right there. He was taking it a little bit too long.
And for the first time, I think, in Cusack Park history, we're looking for football. I think they'll be looking for football in the football ground. Good work by Jimmy Green as well, and he started off as he finished the last John Tom. A huge player for the Multyfarnham men. Ball down into the forward line, but that's gone astray, and Garrycastle have intercepted. It's down into the forward line. Owen Monaghan comes to meet it. Monaghan does well to get past his man. He's gone by Keane Lee. He tries to go across from the second time. He's taken an awful lot of steps. And Barry Nee has picked that one up as well. That's good refereeing again by Barry Nee.
Yeah, but Jack Dunn, a good intercept by Jack Dunn just before that to lead to that build-up.
Sweeney now gives it on to McGivney. McGivney has the pace. Takes it into, but he's taking it into contact, and he's surrounded. Does well to extricate himself from that. Gives it into Mark Reynolds, the man that has a super game. Niall McDermott. Now McDermott tries to kick along the ground, but that's a poor strike, Tom. And just when you thought Multy were after lifting a bit of a siege, they're going to be put under pressure again. Just through a simple pass, Matty Gaheen gets it out it goes. Jack Donoghue over on the far side, or Jack Mulvihill over on the far side of the field. Gets it into Nugent now. Nugent has pace. Jude Owl is trying to stay with him. Jude Owl does exceptionally well there to stay with Jason Nugent, number one, and to knock the ball out. Great work by the wing half forward that time.
Yeah, great back play there. We just seen Jason giving him a clean set of heels for a couple of seconds, but quickly got back and intercepted. And Multyfarnham was starting to bear the two teams.
Lovely ball over on the far side. It's Adam Bate. Has his hand on the ball. Bate is breaking down, heading towards goals. He kicks it across. Is that one going to curl in enough? It is. And if we thought he scored a couple of good runs the last time, Adam Bale has picked off a beauty here again, Tom. 2 points to no score after almost 9 minutes here in TEG Cusack Park. Yeah. Great start for Multy.
Yeah, and it all came from the intercept there, but that was a difficult chance on the run. Took the shot from a wing back. Lovely score over the bar, 2-0. And
2 attacks, 2 scores.
Perfect
Tom.
start for Multyfarnham.
2 attacks, 2 scores. That's all you want. Callan into Jimmy Nolan now. Jimmy ships it on. Cathal Mannion sees there's a man free on the outside. That man is Owen Mulvihill, and there, if you wanted to see the strength of the wind, that ball held up before it got to Mulvihill. Mulvihill takes it on again. Ships it out to Conor Cosgrove. Cosgrove is knocked out of his hand, but they still retain possession, and all of a sudden Multy have defended extremely well in this opening exchange so far. Jimmy Green gets it back, and again It's composure, Tom. It's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, and the composure that Garrycastle are not showing is from Andrew Monaghan and Owen Monaghan and Conor Cosgrove. Just a little bit taking extra
Russian things.
Yeah, Russian things from two experienced players.
Again, Sweeney takes it up the centre. Sweeney, really decent footballer. Holds on to the ball. Build it nicely. Keane Lee with the ball. Keane gives it into the forward line. He's looking for his full forward, Louis Green, but I'm afraid Louis is not going to get that one. It's gone out over the sideline, is it? No, it's not. It's kept in by Mark Reynolds.
That's the second ball that came into Jack Donoghue. He's won
both of them, yeah.
He's won both of them.
Yeah.
Very
He's
good batsman.
Keane Lee with the ball now. Lee, has he an option? He has. He looks up and sees that it's his wing half back that's on it. Niall McDermott now gets it into McGivney in the centre. McGivney does a nice turn, gives it on to Reynolds. Reynolds takes it from a standing start, strikes it well, and that's a beautiful score from Mark Reynolds.
Yeah,
his second in the game, Tom.
He's a man that can do no wrong at the moment because he was slipping as he was taking that shot and still went over the bar. But good play again there by McGivney. Link play into Mark Reynolds, who's been left
just
free.
Simple football.
Simple football.
Again, we're talking about the strength of the wind. That definitely carried a good 10-15 yards over the bar with the strength of the wind that time. 3 points to no score. 11 minutes gone here in TEG Cusack Park. Multy, if they were looking for a perfect start, they've got exactly that. And they've played all the football so far as well, Tom.
Yeah, 3 scores and none of them from Ronan Wallace. So
absolutely, yeah.
They're not a one-man team. Influential Ronan Wallace. We didn't mention too much before.
Perhaps Garrycastle are paying too much attention to Ronan Wallace and not concentrating on the other players that are available.
Yeah, but I think for viewers, we have to realise they're playing again a very, very strong breeze in today.
It looks it all right, yeah. Mulvehill takes it on. It's McCann. A little bit high. Bit of a swan dive there from Cathal Mannion. He was heading into the air there. Arabesque style, shall we say. Is that what they call it?
We'll leave that to you.
Takes it back now. Cathal goes right through the centre. It's opened up a small bit for him, but Owl stays with him, and Owl gets a hand over, but it still manages to get into Conor Cosgrove. Conor Cosgrove with the chance of the first goal for Garrycastle, and Conor Cosgrove has struck the first point of the game for Garrycastle. It's taken 12 minutes, Tom. But again, it was just route one. It was a very simple 2 passing over the bar.
Yeah, showed his class there, Conor Cosgrove. We were critical of a few minutes ago there, but he got a simple ball into his hand over the bar. That's where Garrycastle will be dangerous. That ball in, winning the first time ball in the inside forward line. And
Aaron Whelan gives it in to Ronan Wallace. Wallace is virtually assaulted in the centre of the field there by Andrew Monaghan. Gives it into Louis Green. But it might have been better. In actual fact, it wasn't Louis Green. It was number 10. It was Garrett Milanoff. Should have really got his hands on that one. Tried to feed off the ball, but it just simply trickled back in, and Garrycastle come back on the attack again over on the terrace side of the pitch. Mulvehill into Jimmy Dolan. Back over to Mark McCarthy. Cullen is well marshalled that time by Mulvehill has found a bit of space here. Owen Mulvehill looks around, sees Cathal Mannion. Mannion has been the kind of go-to player for Garrycastle so far. He's been on a lot of possession. Gives it to Cosgrove again. Back out it comes to Jimmy Dill. Owen Monaghan now with a chance of a second point. That's a beautiful score. Beautiful score from Owen Monaghan. Patience from Garrycastle there paid off hugely, and it's 3 points to do, and all of a sudden the game has turned around virtually 360 top.
Yeah, Garrycastle were always very good technically at football, but they showed it there. That was a great interchange. Patient, composed, and another man that we were a little bit critical earlier on, Owen Monaghan, slips it over the bar and it's 3-2 all of a sudden.
Good catch by Green again. He's dominated that midfield sector so far anyway. With this couple of catches he's made. That was a very short ball he gave, but he's got away with it. Back on the attack again. Gives it on. Ronan Green now gives it out to Bate, Adam Bate, but Adam has struck that one under a bit of pressure that time. First wide of the game for Multyfarnham, Tom.
Yeah, better play there from Garrycastle though. They were kind of stood up to Multyfarnham. Multyfarnham's main threat is probably coming down to the centre there, the link between Ronan Wallace and Andrew McGivney, and they just stood up to that time and forced a little bit of pressure on the shot.
bring it forward now. A small bit of descent from Multy, and bad enough giving away a free time, but it's a coach killer too. He gave away extra yards from descent into the post to Conor Casper now. Cosgrove looks up, that's good work by Fahim Brennan. Fahim does well to get his hands on it. He's trying to get an extricate himself. He's surrounded by Garrycastle man. Does well as Aaron Whelan going to make this one. He is. Brennan did very, very well to get that out of that position that time because he was surrounded by Garrycastle men. But if you look down at the field, there's 5 or 6 Multyfarnham men standing still doing nothing at the moment. I know they're playing defensive football, and again it's turned over. Conor Cosgrove goes down and eventually comes out to Mahi Gaheen. He can't get it, and it's Mark Reynolds that eventually strikes that ball out. Out it goes to the far side. Niall McDermott now. McDermott has a bit of space in front of him, gives it back to Reynolds. He's named at 15, but he's playing more almost in that half forward line, Tom, even towards the centre of the field. He's controlling an awful lot of it. Tudowell gets it into McGivney. McGivney turns. He's past his man, and one man is going to have, or Andrew Mann is going to have to be very careful. That's 2 or 3 fouls he's made. Now it goes to Louis Green, but Louis Green can't make it. A great work by Jack Donoghue. Jack bounces it. Did he keep it in? He does. A little bit fortunate there, and again it's broken down with Multy on the attack. Mahi Gaheen now holding on to possession now. Garrycastle, that's what they need to do. Can they get level? Mickey Monaghan now. Monaghan looks up and sees Owen Mulvehill over on the far side. Mulvehill coming up here, back to Mickey Monaghan, back to Mulvehill. Mulvehill has a man going through but doesn't take it. Gives it back to Mickey Monaghan. Mickey Monaghan strikes it. Oh, one goal hit the hands on it. I think he's a little bit lucky. Jimmy Dolan knocks it over the bar, but that could have easily been the back of the net.
Yeah, the last man.
One person in the world you don't want to palm it down.
I was just about to say that the last man you would want to give it to Jimmy Dolan, but soccer style went for it over the bar, and that's 3-3. And over the last 5 minutes, Garrycastle just began to get a little bit more into the game, a little bit more.
I think Craig Sweeney could have actually caught that, Tom, to be honest with you. He panicked a little bit, and the ball has gone out over towards the sideline here. It's Ronan Green. Ronan Green is absolutely manhandled across the sideline here. Conor Rugby would have been happy with that one last night.
Yeah, we have to remember though too the slippy conditions out there. We give him the benefit of the doubt from saying that he slipped, but I think it was a little bit of Conor Rugby. Yeah.
He slipped into a rugby tackle. Mark Reynolds is fouled again. And again, Cathal Manning with absolute pettiness. Looking for Garrett Mullane, and it's actually Cian Lee. Cian Lee is surely dragged to the ground there, Tom, but he's going to play on, and Cian Lee is still going. He's looking for an outlet. He finds Wallace. Wallace hasn't been on a whole lot of the play so far. He strikes that one from a long distance. Out! Oh! It's hit the post! Oh! How close was that one, Tom?
And Shawnee Brennan is down.
Shawnee Brennan is after hitting the post.
Always those balls that are dropping short are very dangerous.
But the wind can't hold it that one, Tom, and stretch it out a little bit, because Shawnee Brennan looked to be completely under at that stage. But he is injured, Tom, and there's no doubt about it. I think because I'm virtually certain he collided with the post that time.
You'd have to say at the end it was a good save to keep it out, because he was caught unaware.
Completely.
It was into the post.
The flight of the wind, I think, caught hold of that ball, and that's what dragged it towards the corner, that goal. A little bit of a let-off for Garrycastle there that time. They're after coming back into this game. We're level at 3 points apiece here. 18 and a half minutes gone here at TEG Cusack Park. But that certainly is a let-off, Tom. And it would have been a great fill-up for Multyfarnham and Dublin had just nestled into the back of the net.
Yeah, and you just feel that with the breeze, that 18 minutes gone, Multyfarnham will probably need a couple of goals in this game if they are going to win it. I'm very impressed with how Garrycastle responded the first, say, 5-6 minutes of the game, showing all their experience there to get themselves back level. They are playing against a strong breeze, and some of their main players, Andrew Monaghan, has actually started very tough, but he's actually started very well. He's taken up James Green, and then the inside line of Owen Monaghan, Conor Cosgrove, Cathal Manning, they are being influential on the ball. I just feel if they can link up a little bit quicker, you'll have the Jason Nugent and James Dolan coming off them. They are showing signs that they could be able to open up Multyfarnham there, but Shawnee Brennan is
a little disappointed. That's Mona Wallace hasn't really been involved in this game so far.
No, most of the players gone through McGivney, and he's gone through Mark Reynolds,
yeah.
and Andrew Bates has popped up on the right hand side there a couple of times. But like, it's going to take him a couple of minutes to probably reach the heights that he has. He's been very heavily marked by two brilliant defenders over the years. So they're very experienced, Garrycastle, in trying to shut off. I see. Matty Ganeen, he's picking up running on a very strong player, so they'll be thinking Garrycastle just to keep themselves in the game.
Absolutely.
To half time. A little bit of a delay here for Shawnee's injury. He seems to be okay.
Indicated that he's okay anyway, so Shawnee Brennan is back at his post. Garrycastle now, they've come back from a 3-0 deficit to level it all off. Good work by Coleman in this time. Way out over on the far side. Takes it on again. Nice pivot by Manny this time. Gets it into Owen Monaghan. It's moving around. Jimmy D sees a man, it's Jason Nugent. Nugent lets the ball go past him and picks it up very well, and Nugent sticks it back to the right foot, but it's just gone to the right and wide, a third wide for Garrycastle. Chance for Tom?
Yeah, chance, yeah. And Jude Dowell was actually brought onto the team, number 17, corner forward, but he's marking Jason Nugent. That's a good little battle that's going on there at the moment.
Yeah, two decent players now, both of them have made their mark. Again, it's Jimmy Green with an absolute excellent from Craig Sweeney that time, and Green has won his fair share out at that centre of that field, and Garrycastle really haven't got the grips at the centre of the field at the moment. On it goes, Keane Lee. It opens up a small bit for him. He's looking to leave it off. He gives it off to Ronan Wallace. Wallace now takes it on. He's past Matty Gaheen. It's across the goal for goal!
It's a goal! Louis Green there with a palm into the net. We said we didn't mention Ronan Wallace too much.
Very first ball
there. One of the first and second balls he got, very cleverly hand passed it in, and that's a very, very good goal. And I did say Multyfarnham would need a couple of goals in that game. That's one of them.
It was so passive defending by Garrycastle, though. They allowed Keane Lee go forward far too easily there, in my opinion. And Ronan Wallace was given the freedom in Cusack Park. Then Mahi Gaheen was left very isolated, passed it across the goal. There was actually two Multyfarnham men waiting on that ball, and that's a super goal and exactly what Multy needed, I suppose, at this stage.
Yeah, but James Green has given them the platform there in midfield. He's winning everything.
Yeah. Mark McCallum. Garrycastle have to come back again. Have to try and build again.
Looking like Multy are going to make an early change.
Jamie Coffey, the man that was listed not to start, it looks like Jamie Coffey is coming on. Who will come on for is another story. But Jimmy Dolan now. Anthony McGivney gets a hand in twice. Chance here now for Mark McCallum. It's pulling across, but that's a lovely score, Mark McCallum, that time.
Yeah, very steady score.
Out of nothing, really.
Very steady score there by Mark McCallum. A good response to the goal.
And a substitution for the Garrycastle team as well. That's number 26 is on.
Substitution on the Garrycastle team, number 4. Gary Callan is being replaced. Sorry.
Aaron Whelan is coming on.
Aaron Whelan is coming off for Multyfarnham. So it's a substitute. Jamie Coffey is on for Aaron Whelan on the Multyfarnham side, and it's Rory McGowan is on for, I think it's Conor McKiernan has gone off, Tom. Another man with huge amount of experience for the Garrycastle men, but very early for substitution. 23 minutes only gone.
Yeah, two substitutes at the same time.
Now looks up. Has he a man in front of him? No, he doesn't. He bursts to himself. He's onto the left foot, probably not his strongest foot, and it's not a left-footed kick or anyone. That one's gone into the canal. I think it's gone that far wide. Fourth wide of the game. First fourth wide of this half for Garrycastle, and they've also kicked a couple into the goalie's hands. So Rory McGowan, I'd say, is brought in to stop the threat, perhaps, of Jimmy Green, or indeed the entire multi-midfield package at the moment, because they have dominated that midfield sector from the offset. Stephen Sweeney now. Faheen Brennan. Faheen has a huge gap confronted him around the centre of the field. Gives it on to Anthony McGivney. McGivney came at that at huge pace. Gives it to Jimmy Green. Back it goes to Niall McDermott. McDermott chips it out to Owl. Jude Owl. Again, it's Sweeney. Sweeney has controlled an awful lot of the tempo of this game. He gets it out to the far side again to Niall McDermott. McDermott is coming forward again. He's looking for an outlet. There's an awful lot of red and green jerseys making a blockade there. But eventually it comes to Ronan Wallace. Wallace looks around, and invariably on his shoulder, it's Jimmy Green. If it's not Jimmy Green, it's the man that's in possession now as well. And again, Multy just playing it around, nice and handy, no panic whatsoever. There's a ball. Oh, that was a bit of a hospital ball there from Niall McDermott, and it puts Garrycastle back in the attack again. Jason Nugent gets it into the forward line, shipped it on. Monaghan to Monaghan. Owen Monaghan gets it back out to Mickey Monaghan. Is he going to? He's got it past him, trying to get it up into his hands. Does well to get it back up. He's surrounded by Multi players. That's well defended by Multi. Goalie has it. Goalie clears it, and that's very well done by Multi that time, because there was definitely a goal threat that time.
Yeah, excellent.
Probably Mickey Monaghan had the better chance of a goal that time. May have been better off to fist it over the bar, Tom.
Yeah, and Craig Sweeney did well to get that ball, because it was kind of coming at him awkward. He got the ball out, good defending, but this game is beginning to look a lot now.
The ball has just drifted away from Mark Reynolds that time. A little bit unfortunate.
Those couple of substitutions, Paul, have just kind of unsettled everything at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a little bit of the pattern of the play has changed. Owen Mulvihill. That's the second high challenge in Cathal Mannion. I know he's not a big man and he's a little bit vertically challenged like myself, but 2 high challenges on him already. Takes it back though. Matty Gaheen gets it on forward. McGowan now. Once he's sobered again, that's just a simple interception. Ronan Wallace has gone flying through the centre here. If someone can find him, Mark Reynolds has the ball at the moment. Wallace is dragging the man away from him, but
yeah, good referee.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he's right.
Slightly, he just ran out of options. He was the only player along with Ronan Wallace
he was probably better off to ship it off to Wallace and maybe go for the return then at that stage. But there's no question, absolutely bang on by Barry Need that time. He did overcarry.
From the new man, Rory McGuine, giving a silly hand pass away and give Multyfarnham the platform. There's a lot of mistakes in this game at the moment.
Yeah, much like yesterday's game, Tom. The first half of yesterday's game in the Intermediate Championship was a lot of handling mistakes, a lot of simple errors, a lot of basic errors, but the conditions are an awful lot different today than they were yesterday, in fairness. Cathal Mannion now. Mannion takes it on, but he's well covered by... It's a little bit high from Jimmy Green, but I think it was actually an attempt to try and strike the ball out of his hand. He did catch Cathal Mannion high.
It's a combination of James Green coming in quickly.
I'm not sure there was no malice, I don't think, in that whatsoever. I think he was actually going for the ball.
And fairness to Cathal Mannion, he popped up after.
Yellow card for Jimmy Green, and not what you want from one of your standout players, Tom, I suppose. He's got to watch himself now for the rest of the game. One 3 to 4 points here. We're heading into the last couple of minutes here of the first half, plus whatever. Nugent does well to get that ball up off the ground. Gives it back out to Mulvihill. Nice move from Garrycastle. Eventually comes out to Jimmy Dolan, out to Monaghan. Monaghan, he has a man on the outside. That's Cathal Mannion. Mannion now. He's on his wrong foot. Is he going to get a strike on his right foot? He's not. Again, it's Mulvihill this time, and Mulvihill does well. And eminently defendable by Garrycastle showed great resolve that time to get the score.
Yeah, great play there by Cathal Mannion to kind of work that score. There was an indication of throw ball. It wasn't a throw ball. It was a good hand pass back out. Probably a point from Owen Mulvihill there. And Garrycastle have to make it working harder for their scores, but they are playing against the breeze, and there's only a point in it now.
But they did work. They worked very well for that one. Ball into the forward line. Jimmy Dolan has stayed up his full forward. It's Mulvihill. Owen Mulvihill coming through on the ball, and Owen Mulvihill has struck it. Has he? No, it's over the bar. I actually thought that was wide.
Yeah, it looked wide. There was a great goal chance there. Jimmy Dolan Jimmy Donlan on the full forward position just came out, won his ball and slipped it off.
And he's staying there as well, Tom, by the looks of things. Owen Monaghan is a complete switch around from Garrycastle, don't you? We're level again here in TEG Cusack Park.
It's one thing Garrycastle were always good at, winning the ball, slipping it off early with runners coming on there, and that was a good example of it there, and we're back level.
And again, Multy slowing up the play when they have the wind advantage. Tom, absolutely silly is the scenario from the men in Maroon. I think a very, very poor decision to try and slow that ball up.
Yeah, but see, Garrycastle put the squeeze on them a little bit more. They put a press on the kicker, which is less options.
Crowd in the midfield area where Multy had been dominant so far in this first half. We've played the full 30 minutes here, and there's 2 extra according to the oracle that is Paul O'Donovan. The man with the nicest jacket in Cusack Park tells us there's 2 extra minutes here this afternoon. Multy now. Quick break here. Adam Bate looks up. Pulls it across the field. Is it going to be caught? It's not. It's dropped into the hands. Garrett Milanoff. It's given as a free, Tom, and a little bit generous in my opinion.
Yeah, generous, but Jack Donoghue's started excellently, had made no mistake. That was just a little bit of a mistake from him, handling her. But they'll be delighted just to give away a free now. I see Barney's after bringing it up for dissent.
Yeah, and that's just pettiness. And Garrycastle have been guilty of that on a couple of occasions. They'll have to be careful because the next thing that'll come out is a yellow card, and that's Ronan Wallace.
That's his first
contribution to the game, yeah.
Well, he did get a good assist for the goal as well, but absolutely. His first contribution on the scoreboard.
On the scoreboard, yeah. Shawnee Brandon with the kick-out now, probably 60 seconds less maybe. Garrycastle with a chance, possibly might have one more chance to level this game before half-time, but I think Gary Dolan and the management team from Garrycastle, they might be happy with the result at half-time.
Yeah, they'll be happy, and they'll be happy with the last 5 minutes that kind of got grips in midfield as well.
Louis Green,
the changes they made actually have worked.
Louis Green is out over the sideline, and again, from an opportunity that Multy had there, the ball has gone out over the sideline. It's going to be sideline ball here to Garrycastle. Jimmy Green does well to get a hand in there, but there was no one on the same wavelength as him, unfortunately, and there goes the half-time whistle. Bang on the 2 minutes, 1-4 to Multy, 6 points to Garrycastle at half-time. And in difficult enough conditions, Tom, it hasn't been too bad of a game.
Yeah, it's been a good game. 2 teams trying to play football, but they're not all out defences. They're trying to go forward as much as possible themselves. It's been an entertaining first half. Probably the happier the teams going in at half-time will be Garrycastle.
I think so as well, yeah.
They would have been not happy, obviously, with their midfield player, but I think they've corrected that in the last 5 minutes, and they're going in a point down with the breeze, with all the experience that Garrycastle have. They will be delighted. For Multyfarnham, though, they are still showing that their rhythm of football is still very, very high, and they're playing very good football this year. They'll also, I suppose, will be happy going in. They're a point ahead. They've made a couple of changes there. They've got their goal. They're going to need a couple of more goals, I think, if they're going to win this game. But it's been very, very entertaining.
Yeah, well, at half-time here in the Shay Murtagh Intermediate Football Championship semi-final, it's Multy that lead at half-time by a single point, 1-4, that's 7 points to Garrycastle, 6 points. We're going to take a little break here on ERV TV. We'll be back with you again very, very shortly for the second half of this game. And don't forget, Ray will be here later on with the senior football semi-final between St. Loman's Mullingar and Terence Pass. But for the moment here, we'll leave you with our sponsors, and do stay with us on ERV TV for the second half of this Intermediate Championship.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusack Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. wishing all our GA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA.
Cusack Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay, Murtagh, Precast.
Whenever you're ready, Simon.
Your mic is unmuted. Start when you like.
Welcome back to this afternoon's Shay Murtagh Intermediate Football Championship semi-final between Garrycastle and Multyfarnham here. A point in at the Multyfarnham at half-time. Both teams out for the second half. Barry Knee ready to win the ball, Tom. And as you said, probably the happier of the two managers are probably the Garrycastle manager.
Yeah, and probably the neutrals will probably think Garrycastle, with the win, the point down, all their experience will go on to win this game. But I would not write off Multyfarnham.
I won't either, yeah. They're a good second half team.
Yeah, we actually didn't mention their manager, Graham Corcoran, who is a Garrycastle man. He'll have them well set up for the second half to play against the Breeze as well. And some teams do play better against the Breeze than with it.
And it's Multy to go on the attack with the first attack of the second half. Ronan Wallace now playing more midfield role here in the second half. Gives it to Sweeney. Wallace takes it on again. Just moving the ball around the 45. Jimmy Green gives it to Reynolds. Probably the four most influential players on the Multy side have got there. Goes down. Green bursts through the tackle, does well. Has no whole lot of options in front of him, so eventually he ships it back to the man that came on as a substitute in the first half, Jamie Coffey. And that's a rather harsh call on Jamie Coffey there, Tom.
Yeah, strange call there from Barry. He obviously spotted something. He was closer to the action there, but he should have slipped it off there early anyway. The man that came on.
Garrycastle back on the attack now, gone into the forward line. Jimmy Dolan looks like he's playing as a full forward now. Gets it back onto one Monaghan. Monaghan has Jason Nugent coming over the far side. Strikes for a goal. Hits the bottom of the post. He probably was better off giving it out. Nugent was coming absolutely flying there, but still the chance is not gone. Cahill Mannion strikes it, but Cahill Mannion pulls it right across the goals. A rather tame effort.
Multyfarnham were delighted to get away with that because they were opened up there. And
absolutely, right down the centre.
Strange choice of shot there by
Cahill Mannion.
By Owen Monaghan there. He should have stepped it out to Jason Nugent, I suppose. But
I thought Nugent was in a better position. Sweeney now. Takes it on down through the centre. Sweeney, his hand on the shoulder. One Monaghan is going to have to be very, very careful. There's a couple of Garrycastle lads are very on the cusp of the yellow card.
Yeah, the man we didn't mention too much in the first half, Stephen Sweeney, quietly went about his business in midfield area. They're going to need all their big men now to set up Multyfarnham.
Ball into the forward now. Gone right through the centre. Corner back, it's gone astray though. Ronan Green that time was going through the centre and he got stopped in his tracks and the ball is coming back out and this side is over and this side of the field is Jack Mulvehill now. Jack looks up, sees that he's a man loose. Conor Costello puts it through but that's held up. Passed it to himself that time and Barry Knee Cup that he has, he threw it up to himself.
Yeah, and all the good work there. James Green got just a hand on that ball that was being given in there by Conor Cosgrove, and then
just given away rather cheaply, I have to say.
And this is a good opportunity now for
Mickey Monaghan to get his first score of the game.
Level it up.
Not knowing Mickey Monaghan as a free taker, Tom, would you have known him as a free taker? I don't ever remember being much of a free taker for Garrycastle over the years. But he's dead straight in front of the goals. It couldn't be any simpler of a starter for him, and that's over the bar and we're level again. Here in TEG Cusack Park, 1-4, that's 7. 7 points for Garrycastle. 3 minutes into the second half. Garrycastle with the first score of the second mighty. The ball has gone out over the sideline. A rather strange kick out from Craig Sweeney. I don't know who he was looking for at that stage, but there was no one there anywhere near it. And Garrycastle now with the sideline ball. Strikes it hard into Jimmy Dolan. Dolan gets out in front. Dolan sees that Jason Nugent's gone in behind him. Nugent's gone clean through. Nugent is tripped. He's fallen down. The ball fell out of his hand, but that's a penalty. And there's no question or doubt about it, Tom. We can look back at this on the replay, but there's no doubt in my mind it was a hand trip and that is a penalty.
That all came about Jimmy Dolan's absolutely unbelievable.
Outrageous pass, I agree with you.
Came out, won the ball with speed and just slipped it off.
Be interested to see what colour card is coming here as well, because strictly speaking, Tom, I think that's a black card for Multyfarnham. It'll be interesting to see where Barry goes. He goes for yellow. If Stu Dowell gets the yellow. And I think the letter of the law, if you're talking about the letter of the law, denying a goal scoring chance, I think it's a black card, but the referee has decided it's going to be Conor Cosgrove now. Yeah, known soccer player, I suppose, and a known penalty taker. Craig Sweeney now in goals when he has absolutely no chance with that. That's absolutely buried by Conor Cosgrove. And what a difference he's made. 1-1 he scored here, Tom, and all of a sudden this game has turned in the Southwest Meath club's favour.
Yeah, 4 points to Garrycastle since half time there. But again, I have to go back to that pass by Jimmy Dolan. Absolutely brilliant. He came out, got the ball, and just used his football IQ, knew where Jason Newton was. Jason
Multy are going to have to batten down the hatches for the last while, because again the ball has gone into Dolan. Dolan on his own gives it back out to Monaghan. Monaghan looking to get it onto the right foot. He does, but I'm afraid he was probably better off going on the left foot, because that's gone for a second wide of the half. And
yeah, we see.
All of a sudden, Garrycastle have upped the tempo by 10-15%, and Multy are really going to have to dig in, grind the teeth, and get back into it.
Garrycastle have also made a couple of positional switches that Multy haven't adapted to yet, and it's working for Garrycastle.
Nice work by Ronan Wallace this time. Wallace is away over on the far side, on the terrace side of the pitch. Wallace still going. He's been chased by Monaghan over on the far side. Eventually gets a hand to it. Wallace still has possession of it, has he? Yes, he has. He's over on the far side, tries to get it back out. Ball goes a long way around it, and all of a sudden Garrycastle come back out with the ball again. Good defence by the Garrycastle man. Rory McGowan has steadied the ship there since his introduction just before half time. The domination that Multyfarnham were having at the centre of the field seemed to have dissipated, particularly at the start of this second half. Cathal Mannion now strikes the ball. It's gone across field. He's looking for Jimmy Dolan again. Jude Owl goes for it, but again he's been chased by Jason Nugent. Nugent is over the far side. Owl does well to get a handle on it. Has it gone? It's gone over the end line. It's interesting to see what way it's going. Paul McCaughey said the lines went over the far side. It's going to be a sideline ball to Multy, and they got away with one there, Tom.
Yeah, again a good battle between those two. Jason Nugent probably just
both of them with huge pace.
Good work there by Jude.
Multy now need a score, need to get back into this game quickly if they're going to have any say in the destination of this semi-final. Away over the far side, it's Ronan Green. Ronan Green is fouled. It's going to be Mark. Reynolds takes the quick free into Sweeney. Sweeney's got to step up now. Ronan Wallace has got to step up. A few of these Multy players are really going to have to step up now. They've been put to the pin of their collar here in this second half. Reynolds now with ball in hand. Jimmy Green has it. He looks up, he sees there's a man free this side. Again, Mark Reynolds gets it. Fahim Brennan is on his own. Fahim takes it. He's got a lot of water. He's got a lot of air in front of him here. Gives it on to Green. Oh, that's Louis Green with an absolute howler, Tom, I have to say. After
and 7 minutes gone in the second half. Multy just need to get a score.
A settler.
I see Carl Henson down just giving instructions to Ben Donington, who's probably going to come in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, there he is. He's coming in. He's replacing number 21, Owen Monaghan, and I think that's a good switch, because Owen Monaghan was looking like he was going to get it.
Yeah, as you say, he scored 2 points, had a good game, but probably just seen that he was getting on the foul list a little bit too much.
I think the next card he was going to get was possibly going to be a yellow, or maybe even more, because he has fouled a couple of times. Ball over on the far side. Good catch by Mulvihill over on the far side. County star, of course, with Desi Dolan's side this year. They played in a number of games in the league and in the championship. Ball in again, and Dunnigan gets his first chance on the ball. Garrycastle doing all the football and playing all the football in the second half. There's another high ball looking for Dolan. He's beaten to it this time though. First time he's been beaten to it so far in this second half. Anthony McGivney gives it on to Sweeney. McGivney now takes it on. McGivney ships one tackle, looks up and sees that Jimmy Green is coming loose. Jimmy Green has McGivney coming back on the loop again. McGivney, it's opened up a little bit for him here. He's got a man on the outside. It's back to McGivney. McGivney, a lovely move by Multy. They're going to go for goal. And that goal! Oh, Tom! We're looking for a response from Multyfarnham, and that was started and finished by Anthony McGivney that time. What a wonderful move, right from their own corner back line almost.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the goals of the championship. Just clever play the whole way through there. Got it back, lovely, McGivney, and took his goal. And that's exactly the tonic that Multyfarnham made just after half-time.
Substitution coming in now, that's number 21. That's Ian McGovern. He came on the last day as well, made a huge difference when he came on the last day, and he's coming on for number 10, Garrett Milanoff. But it was a super goal, well constructed, Tom, And now we have a game in our hands.
Absolutely.
2-4, that's 10 points. 1-7, that's also 10 points. And we're 9 minutes into the second half here. We have a game in our hands here in TEG Cusack Park. And if we thought Multy were going out of a game, that has just put the kibosh on that one. Ball going out right over onto the far side. It's gone out over the end line. It's gone wide. Third wide in the second half for Garrycastle. And just when you thought it was safe to go back into the woods, Tom, Multy spring one like that.
Yeah, Multyfarnham, brilliant response. We probably thought after the 4 points went over there just after half time that Garrycastle were going to maybe pull away a little bit, but a super goal from Multyfarnham. Brilliantly worked, and I'm delighted for Andy McGidney because he's been playing very well.
Green flux one out of the clouds.
Another man playing unbelievable is James Green, and what a catch that was.
Flux one out of the clouds there. Takes it back again. Jimmy is a man around him, and Jimmy Dolan is a little bit fortunate there to get away with that one because he was swinging out. Ball down along the sideline now. Stephen Sweeney was going to give it to McDermott, but turns around and faces back into it. It's back out to Reynolds. Reynolds has a man on his shoulder. Keane Lee is out there, but also out there is Jude Out. Jude Out now. Gets it into the centre on that. Goes a straight, simple hand pass. That's all that needed. And Garrycastle, it's end-to-end stuff here at the moment, Tom.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake there by Jude Out, and it's kind of mistakes now like that you don't need to be making. It's part of the game. Garrycastle coming on the attack again.
Along the ground. Gives it into Mickey Monaghan. Mickey Monaghan strikes it off the right foot. Mickey Monaghan hits a beautiful strike, and that's gone up and over the bar, and a lovely score from Mickey Monaghan. He scored 2 points now.
Yeah, great score there. He was under pressure all the way, but again that came from
Jimmy Dolan pass.
Poor, yeah, but
a
good
poor
pass,
multi-attack.
but a poor multi-attack there. Just rushed it by Jude Out, and Garrycastle punished him.
2 men go up for it, but it's the Garrycastle men that come out in and Ben Dunnigan now on as a sub. Nugent has space in front of him, looks up and sees that Cathal Mannion is in front of him. Mannion slows up the place. Again, it's Jimmy Dolan. Into Nugent again. Nugent takes off at pace. He's trying to go past Jude Out. He's found by 2 of them. Takes a wild shot, but that's gone to the left and wide. And Jason Nugent looking for free. I didn't think there was any free at that time, I had to be honest.
No free there. Just a shot that went wide.
An 8 wide for the Garrycastle men for the red and green. And they might rule this if this was at the end of the game because there's only one kick of a ball between them, Tom Brown here, and this could still go either way. Ball down the centre. Looking for Fahim Brennan. Can't get enough of it onto it though. Rory McGowan now, come on with the ball in his hands. McGowan strikes it. Oh, and Craig Sweeney gets a hand on it, but I'm afraid all he does is knock it out for 45. And I think that ball was going wide anyway, Tom.
It was going wide, yeah. Craig is he probably got that into his head to just stop it. That's the second time he's kind of punched and slapped that.
Yeah.
He's very lucky again. James Dolan was lurking there on the edge of the square. Out for a 50 now. And
Shawnee Brennan coming the whole way up.
Is eventually going to get his little bit of air time. Good man, striker off the ball, off the ground. This will be a good point if it goes over.
Garrycastle seemed to have ridden the storm after that Multyfarnham goal. If Multy got the next score there, Tom, this game could go anywhere. But Shawnee Brandon with a chance now to put Garrycastle 2 points in the lead again. Strikes it, and it's just scrapes its way over the bar, but it gets over the bar, Tom.
Yeah, good point there by Shawnee. Puts some 2 points up, and every score now
is vital.
Just over 15
absolutely
minutes.
vital.
Every score now is vital. Every mistake is vital. Chance of an intermediate final on the line here.
Ball looking for Wallace. Wallace knocks it down, but he only puts it into the hands of Jimmy Dolan, who gets it on to Ben Dunnigan now. Dunnigan off the right foot. Dunnigan, only introduced recently, and Dunnigan strikes a beauty, and he puts it up and over the bar. It's 3 in a Tom. 2-4 to 1-10. That's 13 points to 10. Garrycastle lead by 3 here, 13 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, probably Ben unlucky not to be started. He's one of the players that we said at the start of the championship was going to be exciting, but he's proven his point there with just over 15 minutes to go. That's a great score.
Ball gone way astray. Craig Sweeney has just kicked the ball out just when you needed it's going to be a free in this time. Jimmy Dolan has fouled, and again another scored an opportunity, and
Garrycastle seemed to just up to the level, Tom. We did say at the start of the second half to have up to the level, to have wind advantage in this second half, and they really have put Multy to the sword here on a number of occasions. Just that goal from Anthony McGivney gave a little bit of respite to the Multy men.
Multyfarnham needed to get a little bit more control of the ball game after that goal, and Garrycastle are just using all of their experience now.
Cathal Mannion, another different free taker here. Oh, it's not, it's Mickey Monaghan, and that's a lovely strike, a beautiful strike from Mickey Monaghan.
Yeah, that's his second point in the second half from frees. You will kind of question, was he a free taker or not? That was a very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. Yeah. 3 points in total for Mickey Monaghan as well. 14 minutes gone here, 2-4 to 1-11. Garrycastle now, they've pushed it out to the 4-point gap, and again they look like they're going to win it here. No, it's not. It's Multyfarnham take it. It's Stephen Sweeney. Sweeney dispossessed, but he's fouled in the dispossession. Anthony McGivney has the ball. Multyfarnham are in a rush here to see that Niall McDermott is free. Adam Bate, his wing half back partner, is on his own here. Bate can score, gives it on though. It's Ian McGovern. McGovern burned down on goals. McGovern has nowhere to go. He strikes on it, pulls a boot on, and he's well blocked. Jack Donoghue does it extremely well to get anything on that, but he's missed it again. Now it comes again to Adam Bate. Bate can't do anything with it. Multy have been stifled here by a blanketed defence from Garrycastle. Ball goes out again. And again, Garrycastle have weathered the storm there, Tom. They weren't under severe amount of pressure. And look at the man that's on the ball. It's the number 13. It's Cathal Mannion. The corner forward is actually in his own 14-yard area. Owen Mulvihill now takes it down the field. He's met by Anthony McGivney. McGivney does well. Pulls the jersey though. Gets away with it because referee Barry Nee says he didn't see it. And it's going to be Garrycastle to clear. Matty Gaheen looks up and sees there's a man free. Andrew Monaghan gets it over to the far side. Nugent, he has played a major part in this second half. His running off the ball has been excellent. Look at that for a ball into Jimmy D. Jimmy Dolan now takes it on. Dolan knows he's not going to score himself, so he ships it back out to Ben Dunnigan. Ben Dunnigan has a lot of men around him, a lot of purple jerseys, maroon jerseys around him, but eventually he holds onto the ball. Conor Cosgrove pulls it back across the square to Monaghan. Monaghan now, he's a long way out. They're just using this ball and using it well. Stifling Multy, taking the sting out of the play, Tom, currently at the moment.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Jamie Dolan is playing a pivotal role for Garrycastle, but Ronan Wallace has kind of been out of the game.
I agree with you. He's very little contribution, and particularly in the second half, and they're going to need a little bit of a tick out of him. Having said that, he's been well marshalled. Garrycastle certainly have done their homework here. They know, and no more than anyone else in the county, they know that Ronan Wallace is a dangerous man. There's a great ball in from Mulvihill. Is he going to make it? He is. Mulvihill pivots off his left hand side, looks up and sees Jimmy Day, and there was only one result as soon as I got back across the square, Tom. You did say at the start of this game it was going to be a game littered with goals, and there's another one, a fourth goal here, but this one is pivotal to the game, I think.
Yeah, and a great goal there, and all the work. Great ball in by Jason Nugent.
Superb ball into Owen Mulvihill.
Yeah, Owen Mulvihill. He had to
rode the tackle.
He had to be brave to get it. He rode the tackle and then just slipped it off to the one of the best players for Garrycastle over the last 20 years, Jimmy Dolan, and the county scores. And he got his
goal. And a goal scorer. Yeah. We often forget that Jimmy Dolan has scored goals from half back, full back line. He's taken it on Multy now in big trouble here. It's out to 7 points. All of a sudden the gap is huge here. McGivney now, he looks up and he sees that there's a man free, Jamie Coffey, but Jamie Coffey was waiting for someone to give him a cup of coffee, and he's dispossessed far too easily, I have to say. Matty Gaheen now. Gaheen has been challenged by Ronan Green. Ronan Green can't get a hand on it though, and it's gone again. Again, it's Cathal Mannion. Cathal Mannion has popped up absolutely everywhere there today, Tom.
Yeah, he's been a great link man, Cathal Mannion, great experience. Another man playing well is this Conor Cosgrove. Every time he gets the ball out, we know how good he is, but he's using all his experience there just to keep the ball in play and keep composure with the Garrycastle attack.
And it's just so simple at the moment for Garrycastle. They're playing the ball, playing it around at their ease. Another attack here. Monaghan now comes through the centre, sees a man free. That's Jack Mulvey. He gives it back to Monaghan. Monaghan has a man coming off him. It's their third goal here for Garrycastle. Oh, and it's just gone over the bar, and that could have easily gone under as opposed to over the bar, Tom.
Yeah, and that's his 4th point of the game, his 3rd point of the
Ben Dunnigan was standing on the edge of the 14 there, waiting for the ball to come to him that time. But
I think it was the right choice to kick it over the bar. I know he was probably going for a goal, but silently, Michael Monaghan has been a star in this second half.
I agree with you.
For Garrycastle.
Mark Reynolds now. It's been given for a pick off the ground. I'm not quite sure what that one was about, Tom. I didn't see that. But Multy been hit with an absolute blitz here in the opening 18 minutes of this second half. An absolute blitz.
Yeah, apart from their
2-6 they've conceded in 18 minutes, and you're not going to win games by conceding that amount of goal. Nugent, who has been outrageously good, and just as I say that, he kicks a howler.
Yeah, apart from the fantastic goal of the season probably that they got there, they've been very poor in attack going forward, and Garrycastle used all their experience. But Garrycastle are after making, I said it at half time, I said it again, they made a couple of positional switches there that have just worked, and Multyfarnham haven't adapted to Jimmy Dolan going in a full forward.
And the disappointment is that Ronan Mollis hasn't been involved in this game at all. You know, man, that we tipped at the start of it. Anthony McGivney looking for Wallace this time, or he's actually looking for Jimmy Green, but the smallest man on the pitch gets in front of Jimmy Green that time. Great work by Jack Mulvey that time, and again it's cleared by Garrycastle. Cleared rather easily, Tom Brown.
Yeah, good work from Garrycastle there, but they're a couple of points up now. Everybody is looking for the ball, buzzing, looking for the ball, playing good football. And as I said before, Garrycastle very technically a good football team.
I'm just looking at Jason Nugent there. He has been absolutely outstanding, in my opinion, for Garrycastle. They're not really on the scoreboard, but he's just, everything he touches seems to be a little bit of gold dust in it. Ball out again. This time it's out to Mickey Monaghan. I beg your pardon, it's Andrew Monaghan. Andrew Monaghan from distance. And Andrew Monaghan, he's put his name on the scoreboard, and all of a sudden, Tom, from a game that we thought was competitive, there's 9 points in it, and it just goes to show you the class that Garrycastle have. When they want to turn it on, they can turn it on as well.
Yeah, well, they haven't been in the senior finals and winning senior titles out in Ireland. They're just showing their class, as you say there. But for a Multyfarnham perspective, you just would like to see them steady the ship a little bit, get a couple of scores, and not have a bad blip to this semi-final.
Yeah, they just need a steadying score or something. They just need to get on a bit of play, and again they've lost the ball just by overcarrying, and lucky to get it back, and it's Anthony McGivney again. McGivney is taken out off the ball there. Ball goes out to the far side. Mark Reynolds now. Can Reynolds do something? He was very influential in the first half. Hasn't been that influential in the second half because he's, as I say, those positional changes from Garrycastle have tightened up that marking on him. Reynolds kicks a high ball in. He's looking for somebody, but all he can find is Jack Donoghue, and Garrycastle will mop those ones up all day and all night, Tom.
Yeah, Garrycastle will just put their stamp in the game. They're forcing Multyfarnham to make unfold stirs and try the impossible, really. He was trying to lob the ball in there for...
It's got to the stage where they nearly have to do those things, though, Tom, in fairness. You know, they've got to try and create something here. We're less than probably maybe 10 minutes, including overtime, left in this game, and you know, they've only scored a goal in the second half, one attack really as such, and one basic attack on it, but it's gone over to the far side. Nugent again. Invariably, when you look out there, he's the man that's looking for the ball, demanding that it come to him, and the man that has made a huge difference is
great bit of skill there.
Ben Donegan now looks over the top, sees Mulvihill has gone on the run. Mulvihill has gone through again. Mulvihill, has he anything to give it off to? He don't, because he's after popping it up and over the bar himself. And that's well deserved for Mulvihill. He has had a serious hour. Second point for the midfielder.
All came from a great piece of skill there from Ben Donegan, just using his soccer skills to chip it up. But a man, again, who's probably a candidate for man of the match on Mulvihill there.
Absolutely.
Just nicely slipping in there, slipping the ball over the bar. 10 points in it now. It's looking like it's getting away from Multyfarnham.
And just as we mentioned, Jason Nugent was having a blinder of the game. Jason comes off the field. He's replaced by the number 22, Jamie Carroll, another young player that Garrycastle have introduced on numerous occasions. CJ Ty is in for Louis Green for the multi-men, but I think it's a little bit too late, Tom. Jimmy Green, probably one of the first balls he's got in the second half. He has been stifled. Garrycastle had seen where the damage was coming from in that first half. They've surrounded that midfield with players, and it has worked for them so far because they're just mopping up everyone. Mahi Gaheen, he's done a great job on Ronan Mollis, a man marking job on Ronan Mollis, and he's kept him very, very quiet here today. Jamie Carroll now has started in many of the games. The future of Garrycastle, I suppose, Tom, is that fair to say?
Yeah, and another very good young player, pacey player as well, plenty of speed.
Back into Jimmy D. Jimmy D off the right foot, and Jimmy Dolan has slotted it over the bar. And it's just all too easy at the moment. But it's a joy to watch Garrycastle at the moment. They're in full flow, Tom. 1-2 from the former inter-county star, and all of a sudden it's out to an 11-point gap. And Tom, did we see this coming at half-time? I certainly didn't.
No, we thought there was going to be an uphill battle for Multy playing against the Breeze, all the experience of Garrycastle. We did question, did Multy have anything in? They got a good goal. They went 3 points down, got a good goal, but it's been all Garrycastle in the second half. And Garrycastle, we have to say...
And what a joy to see. Look what's coming on now, just when you think it couldn't get any worse for Multy.
Yeah, and John Gaffey. Super player for both county and club over the last couple of years, but he'll get probably 5-10 minutes game time in him before the county final, and he'll be delighted with that.
Commander's come back from a very, very serious injury, Tom. We both know his trials and troubles over the last while, and it's great to see him back playing. A man that's given huge service to the Garrycastle club and indeed his county.
It's a testament to the man, because he easily could have walked away.
Absolutely,
after that. He's away from kids and he's done his service for Garrycastle, but he's still determined, still can contribute, and it's great to see him back on the field.
Yeah. That's a little bit close, all right. And he's come on for Conor Cosgrove, who, in my opinion, has had a huge influence on this game.
Yeah, Conor Cosgrove has been excellent.
Absolutely.
He's been all his experience, got a great penalty.
Influential.
Yeah, very good player.
Wallace now. Sees the Stephen Sweeney's gone through. Wallace's run is blocked. Eventually comes out to McGovern. McGovern is manhandled again. And Andrew Monaghan has gone down. I think he's after getting the belt of a bus, Tom. I don't think there was anything in that whatsoever, but I don't think he'd be spending too long in casualty over with the belt he's after getting, to be very honest with you now. He's dished out a few of them over the last hour. And
yeah, strong player, Andrew Monaghan. It might have been a pinch rather than an actual punch.
Stephen Sweeney now drops it on. That just goes. That's kind of a.
Yeah, and I don't know why Ronan Wallace didn't come out and just kick that off the ground, put over the bar.
And look at again, Garrycastle come on the attack. Ben Dunnigan, swift to the slip of the shoulder, gives it out. It's over onto this side of the field. It's Gary McCallan. McCallan looks up and sees there's a man free, and that's a great bit of skill. Has he got enough to finish it? Oh, one of the scores of the game from Mickey Monaghan. Tom.
Very Georgie best start. Very elusive. Just
very elusive.
Nonchalantly over the bar then. That's a great score.
Exceptional
on the way back to an intermediate final.
Yeah.
In Milltown, it's going to be a cracking game here in a couple of weeks' time.
Absolutely. And
St. Joseph won their semi-final, so it's going to be St. Joseph's and Castleflane Kuwait Hall.
Yeah, and a class of
jerseys. In the junior final.
Class of jerseys in both finals, in the junior and intermediate finals. They're both wearing, it'll be green and gold in the junior final. It'll be
first interception for John Gaffey since he came back.
Yeah. And he's gone chasing it again. Look at the run that John Gaffey has made. Ben Dunnigan now gives it out to Gaffey. Is he going to get a score? No, he doesn't. As usual, he looks as when a man in a better position. Out to Jimmy D. Jimmy Dolan strikes it. Jimmy Dolan does what Jimmy Dolan does. 1-2 for James Dolan.
Yeah,
he was on commentary here with Ray yesterday, and he was kind of afraid. And there's James Sheeran coming into the fray as well. Final substitution for the Garrycastle man, and not a bad substitution to be bringing in either.
Yeah, and the man coming off here can be delighted with his game, Cathal Mannion.
I think Cathal Mannion has a lot of unselfish work he's put in. He's no score on the board, but he has put in an awful lot of unselfish work here this afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, James Sheeran picks one out. First swing of his left foot, and he hadn't even his gloves on, Tom, and he's at the score.
I was just going to say the man that brought in Jim Sheeran is another brilliant player to be bringing in. Gets on the ball the first time and slaps it over the bar, then puts on his gloves.
Yeah, that's the way to start the game. We had to put on our coats.
But if you're Multyfarnham, you just want to get a couple of more attacks, get the ball over the bar.
You want time to take the mean look off that, yeah. I agree with you. It's not a defeat. It's certainly not a 14-point game in my opinion. But it's just the power of Garrycastle. When they shifted up a gear, they just completely overwhelmed Multyfarnham. And there's a great goal chance, is it? No, it's gone into the side, and Adam Beat, he can be happy with his hour, in fairness to him.
Yeah, and
he has tried his absolute damnedest there today. But
Multyfarnham can be happy with the year. They've got a taste of what it's like to play against a really decent, probably senior side.
Probably a senior side.
Senior side. In the semi-final, they'll be up in the Section A next year, and they'll look forward to.
And again, it's about building.
It's all about building experience.
Gaffey now. Oh, what a ball from John Gaffey. Puts it into Jamie Carroll's breadbasket. Carroll stops it up. Says he'll have a go himself. And if one sub can do it, so can I. And Jamie Carroll adds to it as well. And it's just it's almost like a training session for Garrycastle at this stage, Tom. And we don't like to say that either, because Multyfarnham have contributed an awful lot to this game, but they've been totally overrun this second.
Garrycastle, we did say at the start that the management of Garrycastle were back in this year. Carl Henson and Gary Dolan, they wanted to bring a bit of steel back into Garrycastle, which probably was lost in last year, maybe. And there's a lot of lads out there. John Gaffey, I know how determined he is, and especially the young lad that's just after scoring. They'll want to get on the team for the intermediate final, so they're not going to let up.
No, and it just goes to show you the pick that they have, Tom, that the substitutes can come on and score at will and score some really decent scores as well. So they're not just a 1 to 15 team, they have a bench.
Yeah, they probably
as we mentioned at the start, the subs are going to make a huge difference in any game.
Yeah, they probably suffered from having Alex Gardner away the last year or so, and maybe there was a crazy...
McGovern busted through there now. Is he going to get a consolation score even at this stage? But he shoved back out over the sideline, comes back to McGovern, and eventually it's on Mulvihill, knocks it away, and Multy can't even raise a gallop to go after him now at the moment, because the heads are down, Tom. They've been showing a clean pair of heels here. 2-13 to a single goal is the statistics from the second half, and that tells its own tale, Tom.
Yeah.
Look at that for a ball from Matty Gaheen over the head of Reynolds, and gives it straight into the breadbasket of Ben Donegan. Ben Donegan coming bearing down a goal. Ben Donegan is fouled. And at this stage, Tom, it's just a matter of get this game over with, I suppose, for both Garrycastle and Multyfarnham now.
Yeah,
they'll be extremely disappointed, but as you said, it's been a decent year for them.
Yeah.
To get to a county intermediate semi-final is no mean feat for them. You know?
And there's a lot of players that a lot of people in Erie TV and the people views would never have heard before. Mark Reynolds, he's had a great season, great young player. Obviously, Ronan Moss has been brilliant. Probably a little bit off today, but he's been brilliant all year. If you're the inter-county manager looking on, you'd be...
Jimmy Green.
Jimmy Green has been excellent.
Yeah, hasn't had his best day today. Stephen Sweeney, I think, is another fella that needs mentioning there. John Gaffey as well picks it up, and John Gaffey is fouled. There's Anthony McGivney as well has had his
been
moments.
Excellent, Anthony McGivney this year.
It's just a bridge too far, Tom.
It happens in games when you come up against a little bit more experience. One or two things can go against you, and just Garrycastle aren't going to let up.
And amazingly, Garrycastle had 5 wides in the second half after scoring 2-13 in that second half time. They've also had 5 wides.
Yeah, and they did have a goal chance.
And a goal chance to come off the foot of the post.
Foot of the post, yeah.
McGivney now takes it on. He's surrounded. Mark McCallan. And there, if you wanted a sign of the wind in that second half time, that ball held up for a good 3 or 4 seconds in the wind. Stephen Sweeney, another player.
They're playing in a stiff breeze, Multyfarnham, you have to call that as well.
Jimmy Dolan takes from scoring a goal, but doesn't make any difference, Tom. It's all over here in TEG Cusack Park. A win, and a very statement win for Garrycastle. They win on a scoreline of 2-19, that's 25 points, to 2-4, that's 10 points. A 15-point gap here, Tom, and to be honest with you, it's no more than they deserve. They were absolutely outstanding in that second half.
And we've heaped praise on Multyfarnham throughout the year. Great to get here, but a little bit of class showed there in the second half with Garrycastle. They had stars all over the field. They got the grips, great management. They got the grips of the midfield there just before half time, and then The stars of Garrycastle turned up. James Dolan, Oman Vita was brilliant. Michael Monaghan obviously I think he got 5 points.
Yeah.
Conor Cosgrove played well, got a great penalty when they needed it. And then they had the link players of Andrew Monaghan did a lot of heavy donkey work in midfield there, heavy lifting. But Cotton Mannion was excellent. So too was Jason Nugent. And then they brought on their kind of reserves, or the guys that are going to be fighting for a place over the next couple of weeks. Ben Donegan brought on.
Would it be interesting, I suppose, for Gary Dolan and Carl Henson and the boys as to what his starting 15 is come county final day? Because to be honest with you, he is a pick of about 20 to 21 that could, any one of those 20 or 21 could start in that starting 15.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the headache they will want going into the final. Competition for places, and they're probably not going to get too many challenge games now, but they'll have in-house games that'll be competitive, and they're very experienced in getting to county finals, and they'll be delighted to get back there, and they'll be very determined to get back up into senior level next year. So it's going to be a terrific final between Milltown.
I agree with you. Yeah,
two teams that actually finish top of the group.
Yeah,
and
drew in the league phase of it. A cracking game it was too that afternoon, and you know it's probably the final. I would have predicted at the start of the season, if I'm very, very honest. I don't make predictions anymore because normally they're like hen's teeth, they're no use to you. But it was probably the two teams I said at the start of the year that would challenge for the intermediate title this year. I think Tubber Clare might be in it as well. But it's Garrycastle, and you know,
I think
experience counted for a lot.
I think we all thought Garrycastle would be back in the final. It's who will be playing against them, and is there anybody good enough to beat them? Looking at Garrycastle today, I would be very impressed with their play. They have speed. They have Jimmy Dolan in that inside forward line. That switch, Multyfarnham couldn't get the grips of. Is he going to start there in the intermediate final? There's so much to talk of points over the next couple of weeks. But
it's going to make that talk coming up to the intermediate final quite interesting.
It's going to make it brilliant. It's going to be a brilliant build up to the final now, because like Garrycastle walking off the field, they're delighted with themselves, but they have so much young guys coming on. I was saying there before, they were trying to kind of suffering a headache from Alex Gardner being so good and Desi Dolan retiring and all of that, but they've rebuilt. There's a couple of forwards there in Jason Nugent, as we know. Ben Donegan, I really impressed with him when he came on at the start of the year, that they will be looking towards getting up back into the senior ranks and making a play for the senior next year then as well, if they get there.
If they get there, and this is going to be the talking point over the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to ponder that on our Westmeath webcast, and indeed up for the match when we have it on the Friday night before the county finals. But for the moment, from TEG Cusack Park, it has been an emphatic and almost statement win from Garrycastle here in the Shay Murtagh Intermediate Football Championship semi-final. Garrycastle win here on a scoreline of 2-19 to 2-4 against a gallant multi side who just maybe a bridge too far for the multi-men this year, but they'll be back again. Big Loyala, as the man says. For the moment at least, I want to thank Ollie Gallagher on camera. I want to thank Tom Brown on co-coms here for us here on Airview TV. Do stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, because coming up very shortly we'll have Ray and Paula Hearn with you for the headline game here this evening. That's St. Loman's Mullingar versus Thursbass in the Senior Football Cup semi-final. But from Paul Doolin, Tom Brown, and from the Airview TV team, it's Slán August Bannock, and we'll see you again very shortly for the Senior Football semi-final. Gormila Magov, August Slán.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusack Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners, a local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusack Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay Murtagh Precast.